7 tahun lepas. I goreng ayam, Ashraf. You know why? Because when we started all this, kita capital one thing, okay, kita nak hire staff, kita ada limitation. So what I do is I goreng ayam. I jadi orang yang goreng ayam. So I akan pakai apron, I akan pakai topi, I akan pakai mask. So I yang akan goreng ayam. My partner Sabrina, dia yang akan ambil order. You see the cashier. We built that relationship from the day one dekat outlet with customer, and up until now, hari yang keberapa ribu dia orang still datang, dia orang masih ingat kita. But with different appearance lah.
Welcome to University Oxford Edition, a collaboration between Unify Business and Oxford Leap. Here, we uncover real stories behind Malaysia's entrepreneur, the struggle, the turning points, and the moment that changed everything. Today, we have someone whose journey started with just one bold idea: to bring Indonesia's most fiery dish to Malaysia. He's the man behind Ayam Gepuk Pak Gembos, a brand that turns spice and struggles into success. He's just not a businessman, he's a fighter who turned a simple meal into a movement. This is Hafizuddin, the story of how fire became flavor and flavor became impact. Let's welcome Hafiz. Alright, how are you?
Good, great.
So how are you enjoying Oxford Leap so far?
So great to be here. It's just like a dream come true. All those iconic building really make me feel so great to be here, you know.
Yeah.
And it's very happy.
Hope you and your wife are having a good time here.
Yeah, great. I call her partner here.
Oh, your partner.
Business partner.
Yeah, business partner. Yeah.
My business partner.
Yeah. All right. So bro, maybe we can start from the beginning.
Yeah, sure.
You know, what's the story behind Ayam Gepuk Pak Gembos, and how did this crazy idea even start?
Okay, first of all, I'm not the real owner for this brand Ayam Gepuk Pak Gembos, because it's used to be for this one guy named Ridho Adityawan.
Dia daripada Indonesia lah.
Daripada Indonesia. Okay, this guy is a very great, person. In person, I pernah jumpa dia. Dia muda, talented, and dia ada banyak idea. So me, myself, and my partner Sabrina, we run for this brand under our company Hishas Food Doses Yang Berhad.
So you guys brought this. You guys are one of the first few founders.
Yes,
untuk
correct.
Ayam Gepuk ke Malaysia lah.
Betul. Kita adalah we are one of the license holder for Malaysia lah, one of the JV partner for Malaysia. With some other company also yang own this license for Malaysia, and currently we have several outlets in Malaysia lah for this brand. And as a group, Ayam Gepuk Pak Gembos, this year we have already 75 to 80 I think outlets in Peninsular Malaysia.
Banyak.
Yeah. Banyak
Oh, banyak.
Banyak.
And it has become a big brand lah.
Yeah. Correct. And just recently we received a 5 Malaysia Book of Record. The first Ayam Gepuk in Malaysia. The highest sales for Ayam Gepuk, and the quantity of chicken, and the first halal certified Jakim Ayam Gepuk in Malaysia.
Oh, wow. And I think one of my brother Azif, kan, dia memang peminat ayam gepuk lah.
Right.
And I think ayam gepuk Pak Gembos ni has become something yang setiap kali orang lapar nak makan lunch dia dah cari ayam gepuk kan.
Alright.
So how do you feel when you saw benda ni dah jadi macam satu part of Malaysia punya local culture?
Okay.
Sebab sebelum ni mana ada orang makan ayam gembos, bro?
Betul. Okay, it's actually the first important thing that we must remember, that this is nasi, you know. Okay, in Malaysia nasi is necessity. Seminggu kalau kita tak makan nasi, kita boleh tahan like 2 days.
Yeah.
Okay, and the rest of course we will go for nasi.
Yeah,
right.
betul.
Okay, so that the first thing. Secondly is a simple food. Okay, it's just a nasi, chicken, the smashed chicken, and also the sambal. The sambal is very special. Okay, because dia dibuat fresh setiap hari.
Setiap hari?
Setiap hari, yes. Kita takkan keep benda tu dalam chiller and then guna recycle for the next day, no. So it's very special lah. I think because of that, simple food, easy, okay. Orang tak nak serabut, okay. Tengah hari lunch kita nak pergi makan apa, then we just go for ayam gepuk. Really?
The simple food.
Yeah,
betul?
simple and easy.
I think that's why I think it has become part of Malaysia punya culture.
Yes, correct.
Kan? Kalau dulu ni ayam gepuk ni macam quite macam foreign lah. Orang makan ayam gepuk ni kita pergi Indonesia lah.
Betul.
Kan? Tapi sekarang ni dekat Malaysia lunch, I think office punya crowd.
Betul.
And not just office punya crowd, I think almost everyone lah dekat Malaysia ni ayam gepuk ni dah menjadi satu pilihan lah.
Yes, correct. Betul.
Kan?
That's right.
Alright, so was it a part of a bigger dream or benda ni adalah something yang just happened by chance for you?
Okay, I love this question because you know why? This is actually is not my plan A.
Oh.
Yeah, it's my plan B.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my plan A is something else that you know sometimes in life rezeki kita tak tahu kan.
Betul.
We plan for this and Allah bagi rezeki macam ni, then
Ikutlah jalan lah.
ikut jalan dia bagi macam tu, then kita buat betul-betul lah. And it's not easy at first place pun. Dia sangat-sangat perit lah.
How did this whole thing started actually?
Okay, one of our partner go to Indonesia and try this food actually, and then dia rasa ada potensi. Okay, dia rasa
Malaysia lah.
Yes, Malaysian. Okay, one of our partner lah. Then dia balik and then discuss, okay, kita ada peluang untuk bawa because this brand tak ada lagi dekat Malaysia. Okay, so kita bawa lah daripada sana, kita negotiate and meeting with that guy and he agreed to give us the license to Malaysia lah. And then kita start pun daripada like macam small, our first branch is in Gombak Batu Lapan. Okay, that outlet pun dah tutup dah tak ada dah. Sekarang kita dah gunakan konsep baru sebab dulu kita start dengan konsep yang kecil, sekarang ni dah more like fast food look lah. Okay.
Yeah. So I think yalah, nak kata by chance pun tak adalah by chance sangat. Kan, tapi I think it's a part of orang kata rezeki lah.
Ya, betul.
Kan?
Betul.
Terpijak rezeki yang baik
Betul.
Terpijak rezeki yang baik. Okay, macam at the early stage kan, of course macam orang akan kata macam you ni jual fried chicken dengan sambal je ke? Ada tak orang yang skeptical and things like that? And how do you manage this whole thing bila orang kata, bro, takkan you jual ayam dengan sambal je, bro?
Betul. Okay, I suka juga soalan ni. You know why? Sebab I face benda ni on my early days lah kan. Waktu mula-mula buka dulu, orang akan tanya I dengan I punya partner lah, Sabrina. Dia akan tanya, you guys buka restoran je ke? Itu ayat dia. Dia skeptical tu kan. You guys buka restoran je ke? You both kan kerja bagus. Kenapa you all quit just for the sake of nak buka restoran, you know?
Nak buka ayam dengan sambal
nak
tu.
jual ayam sambal apa Indonesia food, something like that kan. But kita tak pernah kisah. What we did is just kita senyum je, kita buat dalam diam lah. Because we can see opportunity. Jadi itulah, after all benda tu dia jadi sweet memories lah for us.
And I think dalam setiap benda yang kita buat ni mesti dia akan ada naysayers.
Betul.
Orang yang akan kata benda ni tak bagus,
Betul.
benda ni apa so. Tapi bila kita berjaya tu, ada orang yang kata yelah dulu I memang dah tahu dah you akan berjaya nanti. It's funny how people are like that, right?
Betul lah.
Yeah, but I think ayam gepuk dekat Malaysia ni, macam saya cakap lah, it become a culture already, and I think it's something yang yang takkan datang dengan mudah.
Betul.
Betul tak?
Betul.
So mungkin I nak tanya you lah, macam what was the struggle behind doing this whole business? Macam I think F&B ni kan bro, orang kata it's not for the weak.
Betul.
Orang yang lemah tak payahlah buat F&B, tak payahlah sibuk-sibuk nak cuba buat F&B kan.
Betul.
So what was your toughest moment dalam F&B ni sendiri?
Okay, liaise with local authority, workers. Benda tu kalau whoever involved in the F&B business, they will know lah the struggle behind it. Benda ni memang common, but somehow any business also is about consistency. Okay, business yang kita buat, what I tell my staff, I always tell my staff is consistency lah. Sebab kita pergi ikut kepada pace, sebab I memang train my staff untuk buat kerja laju. Jadi kita punctual, discipline, speed, that's the most important thing lah in business. So kita ada kita punya target. So I think itulah jawapan daripada I yang I rasa.
Pernah tak satu momen yang you rasa macam berat ni benda ni nak kena terima? Any challenges since you start this business yang you rasa macam memang berat punya challenge?
Berat punya challenge banyak juga. Kita ada rasa yang ada hari-hari dia yang kita rasa macam kita terlalu penat. Kita rasa macam I want to stop all this kan, but somehow bila kita fikir balik yang this business dah pergi jauh, dah pergi jauh. So dia bukan sehari, 2 hari, seminggu, 2 minggu punya orang kata effort. Okay, benda tu dah bertahun. Jadi you have no choice bro, you need to move forward lah. Dan kita just hadap lah benda ni.
Yeah. Understand. And was there ever a point kan macam you rasa macam aku nak give up and apa yang membuat you teruskan berjuang tu?
Perjuangan tu.
Yeah.
Okay. First sekali is anak-anak. Okay, anak-anak. Because every morning every morning I woke up, I akan tengok anak-anak I. Okay. Diorang adalah kekuatan lah. Diorang adalah kekuatan. So I nak diorang rasa yang diorang ada seorang father, ayah yang diorang boleh bergantung. Okay. Because I personally I'm a family man. So I daripada kecil, anak-anak tu sampai besar, I ada dengan diorang. So motivation besides my partner also, my kekuatan jugalah orang kata. Jadi kita buat sama-sama lah bisnes ni. Itulah.
So your family essentially your biggest reason lah why you keep going.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's important when you have a good support system.
Yes.
When you have a family that wants you to succeed.
Betul.
I think benda tu yang akan membuatkan kita lebih ke depan dan juga potensi untuk kita berjaya tu lebih tinggi.
Betul.
Kan? When you have the family punya support kan.
Yes.
And kalau you look back at those behind the scenes, the chaos, the burnout, the grind, adakah benda yang orang tak pernah nampak yang you rasa macam perit benda ni yang mungkin you boleh share dengan kita? Because like I say, F&B business is not for the weak.
I know.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. 7 tahun lepas, I goreng ayam, Ashraf. Okay. You know why? Because when we started all this, kita capital one thing. Okay, kita nak hire staff, kita ada limitation. So what I do is I goreng ayam. I jadi orang yang goreng ayam. So I akan pakai apron, I akan pakai topi, I akan pakai mask. So I yang akan goreng ayam. My partner Sabrina, dia yang akan ambil order. You see the cashier. So we built that relationship from the day one dekat outlet with customer, and up until now, hari yang keberapa ribu dia orang still datang, dia orang masih ingat kita. But with different appearance lah, of course. So we built that relationship lah. So nak kata perit tu memang perit lah.
Susah bersama and senang bersama.
Yes, betul.
Yeah.
And I won't forget that.
Yeah. And I think You know, I really respect you as a man. Because I tanya you satu soalan tadi behind camera. You nak kahwin dua? Dia cakap tak. I'm very happy with my current life.
Surprisingly, no. I never thought about it.
Yeah. And I think, you know, when I hear this story, then I realize, oh, maybe because you guys went through this journey together.
Yes, correct.
And you appreciate her as a partner.
Yes.
And how much she means to you?
A lot, man. Until I rasa if I takkan dapat lagi, you know, I takkan dapat lagi. I mati for the next life also. I won't get any chance to meet her, you know. It's kind of like love story jugalah. Tapi
Pak gembus Pak gembus love story lah.
Itulah because kita buat sama-sama.
Yeah. But you know, bila you go through all those moments, nak kena goreng ayam sendiri, padahal you ni bukanlah kata daripada, you know, keluarga yang susah ke apa kan. Kau you know,
I datang daripada keluarga yang sederhana. My father pegawai bank dulu. I mean with a banker pun jadi. My mother is a MOA. I mean the government punya ni lah, government side. So I datang daripada keluarga yang sederhana, tapi I ada ramai adik-beradik. So I nak kata susah tak, nak kata senang pun tidak. Sederhanalah orang kata.
Yeah, tapi when you have to go through those moments of buat benda-benda yang macam not easy macam tu kan, dengan panas-panas
betul
kan. What was in your mind? You pernah tak rasa macam berbaloi ke aku buat benda ni? Kan? Benda ni boleh jadi ke? Or was it when you did it, you rasa macam, oh, there is a definite vision for this brand?
Okay, to be honest, I have no choice, Ashraf, at that moment. You know why? Because I have nothing else what to do. Okay, I have this capital that I invest dekat this. You know, I buka kedai, I renovate. That's all I have. Okay, I still remember that I told my partner, I told my wife, I cakap, I ada ini je. If we fail, then I'm done. You know. So I tak pernah rasa tak berbaloi. I rasa I buat sehabis baik. I give my heart. That's the most important thing. When you do something, when you give your heart, you will succeed.
Buat betul-betul gila-gila lah.
Gila.
Kan?
Gila. Dia bagi hati, bro. Dia macam
And
tu.
sometimes orang fikir kan, bro, buat bisnes ni senang. Kan nampak sekarang Awang Gembus ada 80 cawangan. Nampak, you know, you pun dah jadi boss, datang Oxford, boleh spend puluh-puluh ribu datang sini. Kan?
Okay.
But yeah, people don't realise that before you go through, you get to where you are, you have to go through all this journey. Benda-benda yang perit yang orang tak nampak ni. Betul tak?
Betul. Itulah yang it's a long story lah. Dia banyak simpang siur dia kan. Jadi to be here today also, like I said tadi, is a dream come true lah. Sebab kalau nak kenang balik like a few years back, I never thought that I would be here today lah kan. So benda ni is a special moment jugalah to be part of a LEAP program with you. Sitting next to you also is a great feeling.
But same goes to me also. You know, the feeling is mutual. Okay, bro, if you could describe one of the hardest lesson that you've learned, and through this journey, in one word, what would it be?
Desperate, bro. Desperate situation. Okay, if you ask me, from my perspective of view, what makes you buat sesuatu benda sampai berjaya adalah when you put yourself in a desperate situation. Okay. Jawapan dekat orang-orang yang biasa kita dengar adalah effort, usaha, you know, tawakal. Okay, benda tu semua memang kena align together. Tapi for me, one thing is you need to put yourself dalam desperate situation. Maksudnya pressure.
Betul.
Pressure. Yes, then only you can succeed.
Yeah, and I think I teringat juga this one saying, dia orang kata, kalau you malas nak jogging kan, tapi tiba-tiba anjing datang kejar you, you boleh lari gila-gila.
Yes.
Kan? Sometimes you have that inner power.
Betul.
And that inner power will only come when you are in a certain position ataupun certain situation where you feel like you have to do it.
Betul.
Kalau you tak buat, you kena gigit dengan anjing.
Betul.
Kan? So I think that is a powerful thing lah, where you know, sometimes desperation ni mungkin some people they take it as something yang macam aku dah teruk apa semua, aku nak give up.
Betul.
But when you turn that desperation into something yang to inspire you to do more, then you turn that into a success story.
Betul.
Kan? Which I think is very important.
Betul.
Lah.
It's really same like what you tell me lah. Betul. Analoginya macam tu lah. Seolah-olah kita dikejar anjing kan, sedangkan kita sedang penat selepas berlari. Tapi kita tak rasa penat sebab kita lari lebih laju daripada anjing. Yes, we push ourselves.
Kan?
Betul.
And you know, when you push yourself, bila you tengok balik, masa tu you rasa penat, tapi bila you tengok balik belakang, actually everything yang you buat tu is worth it.
Yes, betul.
And I selalu cakap macam dia nak jadi susah pun susah, nak jadi senang pun susah.
Betul.
So you pick your susah.
Betul.
Baik kita susah-susah nak jadi senang.
Betul.
Daripada kita susah jadi susah.
Yes, agree, totally agree. Betul.
Alright, so bro, I nak tanya you kan, macam when did you first realise that Pak Gembos ni was no longer just a small business, kan? That it had been a brand that Malaysian emotionally connect with, and dah jadi macam satu subculture dah kat Malaysia ni.
Okay, bila to be honest, actually when I started to open my first outlet, I still remember back in 2018, the Kelana Jaya SS6. I nampak opportunity tu yang I thought that I cakap tak lama lagi orang akan beratur makan benda ni. It's not I'm thinking that it's going to be viral, because some other food yang viral dia cepat, you know, habis dia punya ni. But I fikir waktu tu I cakap mesti ramai akan beratur nak makan ni, tak lama lagi mesti punya. But totally salah daripada jangkaan I, because the next day orang dah beratur panjang.
Tak lama.
Betul, tak lama. The next day. The next day. Why? Because of, like I said, I saw the opportunity, because this product is really, really great, man. Really great. Yeah.
Yang makanan dia sedap lah.
Sedap.
And that was the moment you rasa macam, yes, I've made it.
Betul. I made the right decision lah.
Kan? And bila you ada, you know, of course you went through the struggle with your wife sebelum tu and all that kan. When this thing happened kan, what was the kind of conversation that you had with your wife? Or your partner, sorry.
Okay. We all selalu cerita pasal future, okay? But at the same time, I suka cerita pasal benda yang dah lepas. I mean, even hari ni pun I akan keep on cerita dengan dia benda yang waktu kita susah dulu. Macam tu lah.
You suka throwback lah?
Yes, I suka throwback. You know why? Because benda tu adalah, for me lah, benda tu adalah kemanisan dia. Macam tu lah. So benda tu indirectly dia akan motivate I lebih. Faham tak? So I still remember waktu I susah dulu. Back to your question yang I pernah terfikir tak untuk kahwin lebih daripada satu kan? That's the answer. Because why? Because I suka throwback. I ingat waktu I susah, my wife was there. So dia ada di situ. Sama lah macam produk ni. So I rasa macam amazing lah.
And I think that's a good attitude to have, to always remember your history. So macam kita kat Oxford ni kan they talk about their history. This building is from the 1920s.
Yeah.
Kan, you know, this chair is probably from whatever years already kan.
Betul.
So everything is about history, and when you remember your history, then you sort of remember, you know, who you are. Kan, which I think is important. And you remember who you are, you don't forget, even though you capai suatu kejayaan ke, sampai suatu yang lebih daripada apa you pernah capai, you still don't forget and you still keep to your roots, which I think is very important. Betul. Kan?
when I tengok I punya team every day, okay, I keep on motivate diorang every single day. I jumpa diorang, and then I also go to my all my outlets, and then I turun padang lah. I mean, I see all the my operation team do their work, and bila I bagi diorang semangat, I tengok diorang semangat kerja, I akan auto semangat. I akan auto semangat. Sebab semangat tu adalah, you know, when you go and meet someone, you bring that positivity, diorang pun sama. So we share the same positivity, dan benda tu akan continuously orang kata bagus for me. So itulah yang membuatkan I teruskan benda ni terus menerus konsisten lah.
Yeah. And I nak tanya you pula lah pasal mungkin about the brand, because I believe in every successful brand dia ada dia punya soul.
Okay.
Kan dia ada dia punya jiwa.
Okay.
Macam nama anak I, jiwa dia tu kan.
Jiwa.
So apakah jiwa Pak Gembos ataupun ayam gepuk Pak Gembos for you?
Jiwa dia punya value, how to say dia adalah satu makanan yang dekat di hati semua orang, sebab orang yang create makanan ni adalah orang yang melalui satu fasa yang struggle juga, okay, and then it's not easy for him also to orang kata bangunkan produk ni. In fact dekat Indonesia pun dah ada almost 600 outlet, okay. It's crazy kan dia punya numbers tu, tapi
600
yeah, 600 outlet in Indonesia itself. Jadi value tu, what I mean is benda tu dia betul-betul datang daripada hati, dia interpret dalam pinggan kan, so that bila orang makan dia sampai balik ke hati. So itulah yang I rasa.
Yeah, I think betul, you're right. I think because bila people makan Pak Gembos daripada yang I tengok orang, and dia memang macam sampai ke hati.
Betul. Pasal muda dia addicted lah.
Dia jadi macam something yang macam, oh minggu ni kena makan juga Pak Gembos. Minggu ni kena makan juga Pak Gembos kan. So I think you're right about that lah. And of course the word Pak Gembos itself, I think dia adalah agak unique. And it got some character. So what does it represent to you personally, Pak Gembos ni sendiri?
Okay, dia membawa satu identity yang, the first one is unique, dia punya nama. Secondly, seorang yang berjiwa besar. Okay. And then the brand itself, for me, dia catchy lah, mudah diingat. Okay. Nama dia tu. Jadi it's easier for us to sell also lah. Orang kata the product because of the name kan. So macam tu lah.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. It's a nama yang sangat Indonesia, yang represent Indonesia, and bila orang dengar ayam gepuk Pak Gembos tu, orang dah tahu dah. Dia macam tak payah nak imagine sangat.
Betul.
Okay, Hafiz, I think let's take a short walk.
Boleh.
I rasa this is a nice area.
Betul.
On this, and by the way, to all of our audience here, kita sebenarnya dekat Worcester College, is one of the oldest college in Oxford, where we are having our Oxford Leap program.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is part of the garden. So let's take a walk.
Very nice, bro. Let's go.
Alright. So nak tanya you, macam bila your customer goes out of your restaurant, other than just being full kan, what do you want them to feel?
Of course, definitely satisfaction. The feeling that orang kata nak datang balik. Kan, of course kita nak kena grab benda tu. And for me, the most important thing is customer satisfaction. Bila diorang makan with the good food, good quality, good service, and diorang definitely akan datang balik lah. Kan?
And you dapat banyak tak customer yang datang kat you and say, bro, makanan you sedap lah.
Few times, banyak kali.
How do you feel?
Happy, of course. I rasa happy, I rasa seronok, I rasa puas. Memang undescribable feeling lah orang kata. Betul.
And sometimes bukanlah nak cerita kan, tapi sometimes ada juga orang yang datang kat I cakap thank you kan, for doing podcast, for sharing the knowledge apa semua kan. I think that is one of the best satisfaction that money cannot buy.
Betul.
Betul tak? When people are satisfied with whatever you are doing.
Betul.
Kan? And of course, dalam banyak-banyak orang yang satisfied tu, ada tak pernah you dapat satu complain atau benda yang buat you rasa macam, okay, I need to do better on this?
Ada juga, betul. Ada komen-komen yang
pedas.
kita rasa pedas tu biasa. Pedas tu hari-hari orang, sebab makanan memang pedas. Jadi kalau komen-komen yang negatif tu, kita akan tengok, kita akan go through, our team akan go through, kita akan tengok apa isu dia, adakah relevan ataupun tidak. You know, sometimes ada orang makan dekat ayam gepuk lain, kan? Dia komplain dekat kita punya page.
Oh really?
Ada
macam tu juga?
Ada. So kind of orang kata disappointed jugalah kan. So we have to report all those things. Tapi kalau untuk komen-komen yang memang betul-betul relate to our outlet, kita betul-betul akan take orang kata serious lah benda tu kan. Kalau lagi-lagi benda tu about hygiene, you know kan, kita betul-betul akan check and orang kata improve on that lah area.
Yeah, I think that's important lah when you have customer punya, bukanlah kata complain, but customer punya feedback ni, we should take it and improve. Jangan kita sak ataupun kita marah kat customer tu balik.
Betul.
Kan? Some people, I think when you get customers who are not so easy, they get upset. But when you get upset, then you start to ruin your own reputation.
Betul
lah. But I think when you take whatever they say into consideration and improve, then benda itu akan menjadi satu benda yang boleh improve your business.
Betul. Betul. Setuju.
Alright bro, I nak tanya you kan,
okay.
Macam kalau you boleh pilih lah satu momen dalam kehidupan you, that leap that make your life berubah, apakah momen tu?
Jumpa Ashraf Khalid. Okay. First thing, the moment I datang sini with my partner Sabrina, kita datang sini, kita tinggal Pak Gembus sebenarnya dekat Malaysia. Kita datang sini as orang kata completely different lah. Orang kata orang yang baru nak belajar, you know, sebab we have a lot of plan yang kita nak try to execute bila kita balik nanti. And alhamdulillah, orang kata after a few days dekat sini, kita learn a lot of things daripada orang-orang yang hebat. Kita bergaul dengan all the participant, also orang-orang yang hebat-hebat, and then facilitator also orang-orang yang hebat, in fact you. So kita rasa macam benda tu adalah satu anugerah, you know, Ashraf. Jadi pleasure being do some networking here. It's very, very great lah.
InsyaAllah. Thank you for such a good word. Okay bro,
alright.
My last question to you lah. If you are sorry, how old are you now if you don't mind?
Almost 40.
Okay, if you could give an advice to your 30 years old self,
okay,
kan, yang baru mungkin masa tu dah start Pak Gembus semua belum atau belum again, but what advice would you give your 30-year-old self?
Okay, you should start business now. You know why? Because first, business is a sunnah lah kan. Okay, and then kalau you buat waktu umur 3, as if in like macam I talk to myself, 30-year-old myself, okay, I cakap dengan dia, I cakap, you just quit job, you have no idea yang what you capable of sebenarnya, you punya talent ada dekat situ, you should do it by now, okay, because you have that, you know, apa orang kata kekuatan lah. But somehow I started this business 33 tahun kan.
Oh, okay.
So
3 tahun after that.
3 tahun after that lah kan. So I takut nanti kalau I cakap umur 30 tahun tu, dia tak jadi pula. Sebab dia jadi umur 33. Itulah.
Yeah, but I think that's a very important point. I think banyak orang dalam dunia perniagaan ni, dia orang rasa takut.
Betul.
Kan? And dia orang rasa macam, you know, dia tak ada future kalau dia orang buat bisnes. Especially kalau orang dulu, dia orang kata, kalau kita potong kita punya tangan, tak ada keluar darah bisnes. Padahal darah bisnes tu dengan darah orang lain sama je. It's just a matter of us making that choice, taking that leap untuk kita buat satu keputusan yang akan merubah kita punya kehidupan. Kan?
Betul. Yeah. So I for me myself, I rasa itulah yang I cakap tadi tu, desperate situation tu yang akan membuatkan seseorang tu dia jadi lebih berani. Lebih berani. Sebab
So be desperate, guys.
yes, you have no choice. Because you have no choice. Just exactly like you kena kejar dengan anjing, you won't stood. Like you akan lari punya. You akan lari punya without knowing that you sebenarnya boleh berlari laju. Something like that lah.
Kan? Walau badan besar macam ni pun akan lari
Boleh.
lagi. Kalau
Boleh.
kejar.
You tak tahu you tak kena kejar lagi.
Actually, I pernah kena kejar.
Pernah?
Betul. Memang lari laju. Bro.
Laju kan?
I rasa macam I daripada sini ke sana macam, cepat je.
Betul.
So I think that's the I think a lot of lessons that we learn. So thank you so much, Hafiz.
Alhamdulillah.
Thank you for
Thank you for
sharing
having me.
your stories,
No
sharing
problem,
your wisdom,
no problem.
your advice. I think I'm so happy and proud to see
Yeah.
such a brand in Malaysia. You are doing so well, and I hope and pray that Ayam Gembos akan jadi satu brand yang lebih besar, that you can grow this brand further and make us all proud.
Inshallah.
Alright,
Thank
so
you
much
for
again,
having me.
Hafiz.
Thanks again.
Alright, jom
Okay.
kita balik sana jalan.
Jom, let's go.
Untuk semua usahawan dan inovator, tahap kesediaan digital anda boleh menentukan sejauh mana lompatan anda. Ambil langkah, cipta impak. Ketahui tahap kesediaan digital anda di ImpactBiz di biz.unify.com.my/impactbiz dan menangi ImpactBiz Award. This is University Oxford Edition dibawakan oleh Unify Business dan Oxford Leap kerana setiap transformasi bermula dengan satu lompatan berani. Alright, Assalamualaikum and see you guys again.
Kini tiba masanya bina masa depanmu.